Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Around the Table GTA. Recently, I've been kind of exploring health because every time I get sick, it puts me in this mindset of what if I lose something and I won't be able to do certain things anymore, right? Also, living with older people, working with older people, and seeing the major differences as I age kind of puts me in a mindset where how much more time do I have? And it's not a fear of death, but it's more of what are some other things that I want to achieve in life, right? And it just got me in this whole tunnel of thinking. And it's not a negative tunnel, but it's a tunnel of how many people have this thought? And I think a lot of people do, but how many people capitalize on it? How many people wait until everything's destructive in their lives to fix something? I don't want to be one of those people. I want to be able to see something potentially coming and then work towards making sure that it doesn't happen again, right? Recently, I almost got in a car accident, and it was mainly because of how slippery the road was. And it was my first time experiencing something like that. And luckily, I didn't panic, and I just steered my car in a direction where I had a little bit more stability, right? But these are the dangers of driving. And even if you don't drive, someone driving you might be in the situation. And I think a lot of this thought is not only from getting hurt, but even like sometimes watching people. Have you ever been on public transit, or have you ever had to sit down somewhere and people are just always constantly scrolling? Like this episode, it's going to be consumer create. I think I've made an episode similar to this, but I guess this might be a fresh new take, or it's just going to be the episode that I actually am doing instead of thinking about doing the episode and then the episode disappears in my mind. So, with that being said, we have to control how much we consume, right? I've been going through older episodes because I want to kind of see how much I've developed over the years. It's crazy that I've been doing this for like 4 years, but now I'm actually trying to get it out there more, just be more consistent, right? A lot of season starts, I'm talking about, oh, I'm going to do this and this and this and this and this. And it doesn't happen because I get distracted with everything else, right? And that's consuming everything else or being consumed by things that may be in your control or may be out of your control, right? And realistically, a lot more things are in our control than out of our control, right? There's someone at work that I talk with, and he talks about not eating any junk anymore. And he's like, oh, yeah, you're young. You could still eat that stuff for a bit, but you shouldn't continue, or, that's not for me anymore. And he just talks about different health stuff, which is pretty informative. And with that, I've made it a mini goal of mine to just focus on my health for a bit and kind of cut out a little bit more bad habits, right? Like I looked at myself in the mirror and I look super, super, just grungy. I don't want to say grungy. I would say more scruffy because I don't look horrible, right? But I could be taking care of myself more. And, sometimes you have to look at the mirror and be like, hey, something needs to change, because sometimes people are too nice, or it could be the environments that you're in where people won't be as honest, or it could be your position where someone will be scared to be like, hey, you look like shit, or you look like shit today, right? I think it's just someone like me. I'm gonna say it, but I'm gonna find a nicer way to say it for some people, because you don't want people to feel horrible, right? But I think in all of this, we need to be creating more. And A lot of things just consume us. Over the years, I've talked about social media, being off it, being on it. For me, especially, like at night, my brain just turns on a different way. I think it's mainly because I did do my nights stint for a bit, right? But it's just how things are, how quiet things get, where my mind starts to like open up and a lot of ideas formulate, right? And it's a time where people should be sleeping, and maybe I could get more sleep in the future. But as I have this goal of 52 episodes, I'm doing more things to kind of get myself to do more episodes, right? I'm learning how to do clips. A lot of people have been telling me for years you should start doing clips. So I'm rewatching old episodes, trying to get some nuggets out there, trying to make sure that the mindset is being put out there, and maybe it could catch the eyes of more people so I could have more content up. I'm also putting some stuff of my personal life in the sense of just things that I do. Like this weekend I went to a festival. I went to a rock or a punk pop festival, right? It was great. So I'll probably have some of the clips that I recorded on the channel soon, right? I think it's funny because sometimes I wait a little bit too long, and then sometimes people do get upset that I put other stuff here, but it's my channel, and if it's something that I could get more people to get on my channel, I'll share some of that stuff, right? It's a little bits of me, and like it's funny because I was talking about the concert at work, and some people were shocked that I was listening to that music, and it's just like, well, if you actually know me, I'm a huge music lover. There's a large range of genres that I listen to, and I'll continue listening to because I just like music, right? But yeah, it's another opportunity to create, especially with me being on road now. I'm thinking of doing more live stuff. Again, future guest episodes are coming up soon. Fishing trip coming up, so I might do a bit of vlogging, with the boys, and maybe I'll brainstorm some stuff up there while there's peace and quiet and nature, right? Or just record some of the crazy shit that we do once a year, right? But at the end of the day, I guess I'm just gonna make this one short and maybe do a second episode, so you guys will get 2 episodes this week, just so I could up the episode count as well, but as well as just getting more used to consistently doing episodes, because I know usually people don't, it's like between 10 and 20 minutes where people kind of pay attention, right? Or if it's like the super long guest episodes, that's when people will completely listen through, right? So we're going to try to aim for more stuff like that. But at the same time, there is a comment section. So if you guys want to see new stuff, let me know. Any suggestions, let me know. Any topics or viewpoints you want me to kind of discuss, I'll try it out. Why not? Right? At the end of the day, to be able to create is a blessing, especially in this day and age, right? Back in the day, to do something like this would cost so much, and now it's basically at the tip of our fingers if we choose to or not, right? And it's a lot of time, right? Recently I've been watching stuff that can help progress me, and yes, as much as I am still playing video games or doing other stuff on the internet, I still have hard moments of just consuming content that is good for me, right? So I think I did say that I was going to get off my main page for a while just to focus on podcast stuff. So I think I'm just going to send out another reminder to everybody that I'm going to be more on the podcast site. So, or I say site or channel, but it's a page, but whatever, you guys know what I mean. Basically, I'll be more there. So if you're looking for me, if you think I disappeared, podcast channel, that's where I am. If you listen to podcasts, you'll know. Also, I will be uploading more stuff on Spotify. I've been slowly updating Spotify. I'm gonna be doing more. Thank you for the international people who are checking it out. Also, if you guys can do me a favor, if you could search Around the Table GTA on YouTube as well as any search engine, just so that I could get more hits, right? Like originally I remember when I started doing the Spotify episodes, I was getting people from like Thailand and Germany and other places in the world where I don't know anybody, right? I actually do know someone in Thailand. Shout out to Johnny, Johnny Tello. Keep up with the good fights, right? He's gonna be like, huh? If he does check out this episode, he's gonna be like, oh, that's a random shout out, random ass shout out. But you know, just thank you guys for the support. And to create is a blessing, to consume is also a blessing, but at the same time, sometimes we need to stop and see, are we making too much? Are we creating a situation that's not helping us? It's not pushing us forward, right? It's just like when you have a lot of money and you buy excess stuff. Like I've been spring cleaning for 3 months because I just have too much stuff. But at the same time, I know that because I'm working out, I am a bigger person. And if I choose to stop working out, I'm going to slim down again. So I can't throw out all my clothes. But at the same time, how many clothes do I have? How much clothes do I need? Right? Luckily, there is a donation box near me. So I am going to donate some stuff. Why? Because I don't need all of this stuff. And as I clear out my room and other places in the house, I feel better. And with that feeling, I'm building up a momentum. These are things that I talk about in the older episodes. So if you guys want to check out some of the older episodes, I'm using my own advice. I'm using my own tactics to kind of put myself in a better position, right? And that's another goal of this podcast, is to get yourself in a mindset that helps you grow, right? What do you want to achieve? Where do you see yourself in the future? As lame as that question seems, right? We have to visualize it. To attain something, you don't always have to visualize it, but when you visualize it, it becomes a little bit easier, right? One of my favorite songs from the mid 2010s, which is crazy. That's like freaking 10 years, right? If you talk to people about Summer 16 or Summer 16 memes, you're just like, wow, you know, what a time to be alive. But it felt like 3 years ago, but due to what happened in 2020, it feels a lot longer, but it actually was a long time ago, right? But going back to the song, I Want by Made in T.O. is a great song because he just talks about all the things that he wants, right? And it's a nice song, and how it goes, it just puts you in a mindset. It's like, yeah, you know, I want this, I want that, I want that. But it only starts with wanting, right? But how are you going to get to that end goal, right? And that's where we need to tune in, especially with summer. There's so much stuff happening this summer. It's just like, I already know I'm going to get off topic. So what I need to do is hunker down, maybe even like schedule days of the week, right? Like I already have days for the gym. I could put days for podcasts, or just days after work, straight podcast, or wake up early, straight podcast, or when I get the feeling kind of like this, straight podcast, so that I could build up the momentum to do more, be more, and get to my goals faster, right? I was listening to Diary of the CEO, and it was talking about like the signal versus the noise. And there's so much noise in society right now where you get caught up in certain things, or you know, 30 minutes later you're watching a video about a random celebrity that you don't care about, and they're in a situation. It's just like, why do I know this, and why have I been spending the last 20 minutes indulging in information that's not useful at all to me, right? We need to catch ourselves so that we could create, and we need to make sure that whatever we're consuming is going to be beneficial for us. So shout out to all the new subscribers, the new people checking out this stuff, and as well as the older guys, 5E's gang. We're gonna keep it going. I think this might be episode 22, right? Still got 30 episodes to go with, right? I thought this was gonna be shorter, and then I started yapping, so I guess maybe I'll just do one episode this week, but definitely cooking up some more stuff. So I'll catch you guys later, but I'm also gonna be putting up more content that is not necessarily podcast related, but it's also going to help develop the channel. So I'll catch you guys on the next one, and take care.